this time. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now with Arizona Concealed Carry Permit by Zanna Enterprises, LLC. Become a more responsible and educated gun owner. Carry legally concealed in 35 states. Carry permitted in restaurants where alcohol is served. Learn where and how you can legally carry a firearm in Arizona. Learn where you can use deadly force. Where can you display your gun or not for self-defense? Learn how to deal with law enforcement while carrying a firearm. Learn how to be aware of your surroundings and how to avoid a confrontation. Buy your gun without waiting for a background check. Get your Arizona Concealed Carry Permit now. Go to www.azccw.us. Go to www.azccw.us. Free for single mothers and people with disabilities.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States FM network. This is the second hour, the hour about guns. Well, I'm excited, I must tell you. I really like to challenge myself. I like always to learn new things and become new things. Say, Luca, what are you talking about? What are you becoming new things? Yes, let me explain to you. I wish I had 100 lives, not because I want to live longer, but because I want to learn almost everything. I mean, not everything. There's some stuff I don't like, I must tell you. I'm not exactly a handy guy. I'm not really that good at manual works. I don't like those. But I have other things that I really enjoy. It's like my instinct brings me back. I like, for example, the use of firearms or swords. Some sort, maybe, I don't know, maybe genetic memory. I don't know, since I was a child. And I'm not violent. Don't get me wrong. I hate violence. But I'm very fascinated by how to use and be proficient with anything that can be a tool, not to kill, but to defend myself, to defend the people I love, to also defend freedom. That's a fact. And of course, I have other things I like to do. I like to do music, poetry, and whatever. I have a lot of stuff I like to do. But this is regarding now the guns hour, okay? So I always was fascinated since I was a child. Then, of course, you try to find the ways. Of course, if you live in Italy, you're stuck. It's difficult, but still, I was able to have a connection, at least be in contact with firearms, even when I was a young man. For some, very destinies reasons, my family were able to have guns in Italy, especially, because I had one of my uncles was a general, high-ranked general. So, when you're a general, you're not like the regular slaves out there, okay? That's the way it works. Sorry, guys. That's the way socialism works. Or, in general, European government works. Slaves are not allowed to have guns. But if you are an enforcer, if you're one of the soldiers for the state, yes, you can get pretty much whatever you need. Then, of course, I had my grandfather from my father's side. He used to be a former policeman. So, yeah, even there, you're allowed to have guns, even when you're retired. Then, of course, in the family, I had my father was kind of connected, because you must be connected to have guns. He's not like a right. You must go to the police chief, say, please, may I give you 20 reasons why I should have a gun or more? And if the police chief is a friend of yours, yes, I'm sure you're going to find a way that can give you, you have a license. But it's very difficult. My father was lucky enough. And so also my other uncle, was a lawyer. So, more connections. That's the reality. So I grew up in an environment, thank God, that even Italy is pretty much a mess when it comes to having guns. I was around guns. And of course I joined the military academy and I had a chance a little bit there too. But the point is I'm trying to say here is this. I came here to America and finally had the opportunity, that is a right, to exercise the Second Amendment, of course also the first. And especially when I moved to Arizona 11 years ago, I said, this is beautiful. This is not just having their right, but also trying to learn, be proficient, to be responsible. That's the most important thing. I wanted to be the best I could be. So it's like a journey. It's like always a way that you must find to improve. Not because somebody's telling me, but because I want to do it. So, the last few years, besides training and doing different things, different schools, different classes, I started to also, just last year, not even 6 months ago, it was about probably this December, the beginning of December, after the elections, I wanted to start this new business that was related to firearms training. And I wanted to get, of course, some certifications, okay? Not because I believe that I like to put on the wall my certificates for myself. No, because I think also there is a way to learn and to be more proficient, even in explaining things, especially when you try to share with other people. So I became an NRA instructor in pistol, in rifle, in shotgun, self-defense inside the house, self-defense outside the house, and of course also I did certification as a chief range safety officer. Okay, that's the bottom line. Bottom line is, why am I saying all this to you? Because now finally I can put, let's say, at work in a way that I intended to share this information to other fellow Americans, this knowledge. So I started to collaborate also with a local newspaper in Mojave County. It's called the Kingman Daily Miner. That I was very pleased. The new editor, Mr. Sean, he liked the idea. And my approach is, I want to share information about guns-related topics that they are not just for the gun owners, but probably for people normally who hate guns. I would like to get this information for people that normally they are not familiar with guns. So I want to get, first of all, the basics. How to be safe, how to be responsible. That's something I believe belongs to everyone. Gun owners and no gun owners. So, and this information may be lame for some. They already know this stuff. Great. But believe it or not, I have a lot of people that I know, I saw them. They consider themselves gun owners, experts. And my dear Jesus, stay away from them. Some of these people, they are the most dangerous people I've ever seen, breaking every type of rules or safety rules you can imagine. So I say, first thing, you must have a good attitude. That's the problem with everything, especially when it comes down to guns. Attitude is the first thing. Attitude means that, hey, somebody's trying to tell you something, give him a chance to share what he's trying to tell you. And then if you really think he's an idiot, that's fine. But first you try, because sometimes you don't see what you do right from within. You need to have somebody from outside. So the attitude is always to learn, to be receptive, to be open. Don't be a jerk. So that's the story. And now, let me talk a little bit about the Kingman Daily Miner. Because, as I said, I really was pleased and very honored. After I think about it, my English, sucks sometimes, especially when I'm not, the story. I wasn't born here. I didn't go to school. I'm pretty good with Italian, but English I never really learned the official way to classes or schools. So I'm kind of self-taught. I even have friends, of course, and people who love me, that they've been close to me, try to teach me, okay? But the bottom line is, I am who I am. For me, to find myself today that I can collaborate as a freelancer and write for a newspaper, well, I'm pretty humble and pretty proud, okay? So that's the story. So, I've been doing this collaboration, and there was just now every Tuesday. You can also read, by the way, my articles online. Let's say if you are from Australia or from other parts of the country, you don't need to be living in Kingman to buy the paper. You can go to kdminer.com, and you can read my articles. If you want to find them, in the top right, there is this little search box. Put my last name, Zanna, Z-A-N-N-A, and you can read all my little articles. Now, we started pretty much with a series of 3 articles when it comes down to safety, gun safety rules. And I think a couple of weeks ago I read to you part 1. Today I would like to share with you part 2. And by the way, next Tuesday, now they gave me the official day for my column. Wow, I have an official column. It's going to be part 3. And then we have even more exciting articles, because it's not just about safety. Of course, we can talk about safety always, but it's also about how to be responsible gun owners, how to avoid to be in a gunfight, how to avoid violence. After all, you know what? The best gunfight is the one that you can avoid. Exactly. But it's also the best physical confrontation or violent confrontation is the one that you can avoid. Okay? Unless you're a psycho, I mean, that's not a problem. All right. So let me read to you this column that I wrote. It was last Tuesday. Okay? So this is Gun Safety Rules Part 2. In my last article, Gun Safety Rules Part 1, I share the fundamental gun safety rules that every gun owner should always follow. And if you want to know about the first part, as I said, go to kdminer.com and type in Zanna, you will find the article. There are more safety considerations that we should learn, and too many times are never been even mentioned or taken in serious consideration. I remind you that gun safety is a matter that belongs to everybody, not just gun owners. Exactly. Let's say now you listen to the show. Say, I don't care about guns. I hate guns. Fine. You don't need to do anything you don't want to, okay? Nobody's forcing you here. But I think it would be nice to know some basic knowledge that in case one day you will meet a gun owner or you will find a gun somewhere, at least you know how to behave, how to be safe, how to make the gun safe till help is on the way. That's the bottom line. So, even if you do not own a gun, just knowing these safety rules, you may be the person who can save an innocent life or warn and educate somebody else. That's the spirit. Education, helping each other in learning, because this is a serious matter. Okay, falling guns. They are just guns. Let them fall. Yes, like every object, a gun will follow the law of gravity. If it is not held correctly, it may slide off your sweaty or tired hands. It can happen, it should not, but hey, we are human. So if the gun falls out of your hands, just let it fall on the ground. Do not attempt to catch it. I understand some gun owners will rather fall in a ditch themselves rather than see their brand new gun facing a scratch or a dent. Remember, the gun is an object and your life or the life of an innocent is more important. Right? What happens if a gun is falling off your hands and you try to catch it? Just imagine a barrel pointed at your face while you're trying to catch the gun and probably have your finger touching the trigger and bang. Yes, bang. Too many people have died or injured themselves or innocents while trying to catch guns falling out of their hands. Please, if the gun is falling, just let it fall. It will not shoot even if there is not an external safety. All the modern guns have one or more internal safeties. If that gun is too precious for you, leave it in the safe and carry another gun that you are not so emotionally attached. The gun is just a tool. Believe it or not, this happens. If you do not train right now mentally and start to really do it, I mean, honestly, I don't like to let my gun scratch on the ground, but once in a while when I'm at the range in a safe way, triple checking that there is no magazine, there is nothing inside, and the chamber it's open, I let it go on the ground intentionally. Why? Because I train myself that this is just a gun. It's a piece of metal with some plastic. If there is a little scratch, no big deal. I know that day is gonna, never happen to me. But if one day my hands are gonna get sweaty or tired or I have a cramp and my gun is sliding off my hands, I'm not going to have the jerk reaction to try to grab it. I already passed that mental stage. That's very important. That's why I like to choose guns that they are practical, guns that they are, functional and robust. They're not hypersensitive or, too shiny that, oh my gosh. Okay? That's the bottom line. That's why I carry Glocks anyway. Okay, that was safety consideration number 1. And by the way, these are additions to safety rules because we already went last week with the basic foundation of safety rules. Now, rules number 2, holster your gun slowly. Let me say again, slowly. Yes, one of the most dangerous moments of handling a handgun, besides the presentation from the holster, is the moment you holster it. Think about it. You holstering the gun is very dangerous, and I'll tell you why. I've seen too many people literally slamming their gun into the holster without realizing the potential dangers. How can be bad? The trigger might be trapped in part of your garment. And imagine the consequences when you reinsert your handgun into your holster. Always do it slowly. Almost like a cowboy movie after the duel, and the winner looks around, scans around the environment, and slowly insert his gun back into the holster while scanning his surroundings. You should mentally count 1001, 1002, 1003, and insert your gun safely into your holster. Always be sure your finger is off the trigger while you perform this operation. Yes, now the important thing, always be sure of your finger is off the trigger, because sometimes you will see at the range 90% of the people that when they reinsert the gun into the holster, you will be surprised how the little finger is on the way on a place that shouldn't be. Very dangerous. Point 3, eyes and ears protection. In a self-defense situation, you may not be able to wear eye and ear protection, since things could happen way too fast. But every time you train at the range, you must always wear them. Imagine a small fragment of a bullet hitting one of your eyes. Also, shooting a firearm without ear protection can have devastating consequences on your hearing. It could potentially destroy your eardrum and even make you bleed. By the way, there's some misspell here that I was hoping that the editor could catch for me. I need to pay more attention to this, especially if you shoot indoors. There are several solutions for your ear protection. The most economical is less than 50 cents for a set of foam earplugs. I always carry a pair with me, even when I go out in my regular day. If I have the chance to see potential trouble coming, I can prepare myself. Imagine you're inside the car driving and somebody tries to carjack you. These 50 cents earplugs could be priceless. Second choice, of course, is the passive headset or mufflers that they go about for $10 or so. They're just regular headset protection. They protect your ears, but they also limit your capabilities in hearing important range commands or potential threats. At the range can be a safety problem, but in a house, in case of self-defense, can be even worse. You may not hear the potential home invaders, movements, or noises. Best solution, I'll give you the best solution now, electronic amplified ear protection. While they amplify your hearing with the normal sounds, they will shut down and protect your ears when the loud noise happens suddenly, like the loud bang of a firearm. You can find them starting for about $30 and up. Now, this is pretty much to conclude the part 2 of gun safety rules. I'm reading the article from the Miner, just to let you know, guys. That's the story. Now let me have a break, somebody's calling, and I'll come back on the air.
Don't tread on us.
Do you want social justice? Now I give you social justice. The Zanna way. Don't trade on us, the Freedom Rifle by Zanna. The most affordable military-grade semi-automatic AR-15 rifle in M4 configuration, chambered in 223 Wild that can shoot both 5.56 NATO and 223 Remington. 4 minutes of angle for just $499. Made in the USA. Get your Freedom Rifle now. We need every law-abiding American armed with knowledge and at least one military rifle ready to defend good against evil. With every Don't Tread on Us rifle, you will get free parchment replica of the United States Constitution, free digital CD Don't Tread on Us, free ebook How to Become a Rifleman, free t-shirt Slaves Are Never Armed, I Am Not a Slave, free 30 rounds magazine where allowed by the law, free laser engraved ejection port Don't Tread on Us for just $499. Go to www.freedomrifle.com www.freedomrifle.com. Get your Freedom Rifle now.
Here we go. Back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States to the FM network. I'm pretty excited. You know, I should be excited, I guess. I'm alive. That's a good thing. I'm not rotting in some federal prison just because of my freedom of speech. That's a good thing. So I'm here. I appreciate it. That's all I can say. I enjoy it. I'm grateful. Yes, I am. Now, let me share with you, we did a little bit of, let's say, gun safety rules. I was reading the article that I wrote from the Miner, the King Madeley Miner last Tuesday. There's a new article coming, of course, I mean, just now figured out that I'm going to be a regular every Tuesday, next Tuesday. Then we have, of course, this Tuesday I will conclude the section of safety rules, and we will go to another topic. The topic is going to be how to avoid the violent confrontation. After all, it's the best fight. Doesn't matter if it's a gunfight, fist fight, or any type of violent fight, is the one that you can avoid. So we'll talk about that. There are different things to consider. Things sometimes we can do, sometimes things you cannot do. That means sometimes it is unavoidable, but at least you will try your best. And I think there is so much. I think 90% of the physical or violent confrontations can be avoided, at least 90%. Then the 10th, at that point, you do your best to, let's say, follow through on what the other person started and you cannot avoid. But we will talk about that too. Now, a little bit about news. First of all, I have some news I want to read. Then I have a reminder. The Don't Tread on Us rifle. I'm very excited that, the last few months I became a federal gun manufacturer. And also I can legally ship firearms across the states to other FFL dealer, federal dealers. And so that means that if you want to, let's say, order the Freedom Rifle package, that I remind you is created by the Upper, Don't Trade on Us, the Freedom Rifle Upper, chamber in 223 Wild, 19 Twist. And you can see all the more details on freedomrifle.com. Comes complete with bolt, group, charging handle, and of course, I just said because normally many other products don't come like that, but I offer included a A2 type handle rear sight. The front sight is the typical standard, M4 sight fixed with a turret. So it's a great package. It's very well made. And made in the US, of course. And just to let you know, it is really good with steel case ammo. The 223 Wild can shoot 5.56 NATO, 223 Remington, but I found out that he loves even especially, of course, brass is always the best, but the extractor, it works great, especially the way the round is sitting into the chamber. I think this is 223 Wild. It's a little more forgiving when it comes down to shooting steel case ammo. So I really like it. I never had a problem with the brown bear or even with the wolf, shooting thousands of those. So that's a great upper. Then it comes with the lower. I will ship you also the lower. The lower is a Plum Crazy Generation 2, upgraded. And you will see what means upgraded. It's very, very good because first of all, you got lifetime warranty. Okay, that's right there. It's something it can't beat that. Lifetime warranty. I think it's an incredible thing, especially for the price you're paying. Not many companies that I know give you that. Then you have a very new design since from the original Plum Crazy. It's a completely new, innovative design, stronger. And we did a video. We shot a video running over the lower with Humvee, about 10,000, 11,000 pounds Humvee on the asphalt, not on the grass or on the sand. You run it over with three lowers, strip lowers, twice. These polymer lowers, no even a scratch. So that's amazing. So it's a great, great lower, complete. So you have the lower, the upper, And let me tell you one more words, a couple more words about the lower. The trigger. The trigger is amazing. It breaks about around, 4 pounds. Incredible trigger reset. Very crisp. It's polymer made. All the parts and components are made of polymers. People may say I have a problem with that. Guess what? First of all, you got a lifetime warranty. It shouldn't be a problem. But more important, these polymer parts, we never had a problem. We never had to replace anything. It's amazing. And one thing I like about this polymer, all the trigger group, all the part normally inside the lowers that you're supposed to lubricate, they do not need, let me say again, they do not need any type of lubrication or whatsoever. I mean, if you want to do it because you want to waste the lube, that's fine, but you don't have to. They self-lubricate. They're impregnated with a special material that they do not need lubrication. So it's very innovative. When you need to clean it, just spray with air, or if you're really dirty, water, and then spray with air. Simple as that. So you have upper, lower, complete with sight, lifetime warranty on the lower. You have incredible bonuses like copy of the United States Constitution. Then you have a t-shirt, slaves are never armed, I'm not a slave. Freedom rifle. Then you have a downloadable access to the CD, Don't Tread on Us, normally sells on Amazon for about $10. Then you also have downloadable access to the ebook, How to Become a Rifleman. I put every week or every time I have time more chapters. So you can learn the basics. I mean, wow. All this for $499. Okay? And the product works. Is reliable. It's light. So that's all I can say. If you want to now, finally, even if you're listening to the show, let's say in Texas or other states that are gun friendly. I mean, if you come from California, I'm sorry, I cannot sell you any of these things. Oh, by the way, you also get a free included 30 rounds USGI magazine, okay? So if you are from a state like, Texas or any other states, like you're allowed to have a basic self-defense semi-automatic rifle like the AR-15. Guess what? All you have to do is you go to freedomrifle.com, follow the instructions, email me if you have any questions, or call me. And all you have to do is send me the FFL copy of your dealer, where I will ship the package. You got the upper, you got the lower, and all the freebie for just $499 and free shipping. Yes. So that's pretty much all I want to say. I want to remind you this. Now, I'm very proud I can ship this directly to any of your dealers out there in the States, wherever you listen to this show, okay? Now, a little bit of news come from Arizona. Normally I've been a kind of a critic on many issues of our governor, Arizona Governor Douglas Ducey, okay? I believe it's kind of a rhino Republican. In many issues, unfortunately, it's been proven it. But now I'm focusing on the Second Amendment, and I'm focusing on credit when credit is due. Or even better, when credit is earned. Just May the 1st, 2017, the Arizona Governor Ducey wrote a letter to the Secretary of State, Michelle Reagan, mentioning the Senate Bill 1122, Personal Property Transfer, Limitations Prohibited. And that's what he reads. Dear Secretary Reagan, today I signed SB 1122, which helps protect the Second Amendment. SB 1122 ensures a private citizen's right to personally transfer or sell private property, including a firearm, without requiring the owner to search any federal or state database or databases or involve a third party. This bill is consistent with our state preemption laws and my signing of the last year's HB 2224 private firearm transactions, prohibited encumbrances. In Arizona, owning, selling, and transferring a deadly weapon to a prohibited possessor is a Class 6 felony. That's another story, of course. So the point is, I look forward to continuing to work with the legislature to protect our Second Amendment rights. Signed, Douglas Ducey, Governor of the state of Arizona. You see, sometimes, I'm glad. I'm glad to brag about something good. I'm not here to enjoy when things are bad going. We need good things. I wish there will be also other aspects, but sometimes it's a process. As I said also during the first hour, it is also our duty, because politicians are like trees. You need to give them water. You need to give them some sort of a support to get some fruits out of them. If you just let them sit there under the sun, they're going to do whatever they want. Or at least, why should they care if you don't care? So I'm saying this work is being done. Of course, I think Governor Ducey is right on this one, but also because of the help and the support and the efforts of thousands of Arizonans, thousands of law-abiding gun owners who are concerned, and they've been expressing their concern to the legislators when it comes down to keep this right free without type of registration, without type of government interference. I'm supposed to be able to sell a gun privately, like I'm selling a pair of shoes, without the government. It must know what I'm doing. Okay, that's the bottom line. So kudos to all these people, and more important, Arizona Citizen Defense League. They've been always behind these type of things. They were there. I may also probably get Dave Kopp back, the president of Arizona Citizen Defense League, because these are good victories. This is what we do to fight back against the globalists. Okay. Now let's read a couple of news. Bloomberg, the pain in the ass former mayor from New York, pretty much never stops. It not only created drama and misery and a lot of slavery, I call it, in New York. Remember, this is the guy that he said that, wow, how many sodas or what type of sodas you could drink. The government dictate how big your soda drink can be. If that's not complete ownership by the state, what is that? And by the way, I hate sodas. I don't drink any sodas. The last sodas I drank probably was like 8 years ago, if not more. But that's not about me. That's about us, we, individuals, having the right to decide what is good for us or not, and be responsible. So anyway, that's the man that he was behind that. But, when it comes down to guns, he's been pouring a lot of money a lot of places. And thank God, many places been losing, okay? For example, Bloomberg wasn't finished with the land of enchantment and put an addition, talking about New Mexico. He tried to put some money there to try to stop, as usually, the right of the people to keep bear arms. They always start with some sort of sensitive, some sort of, that is good. But then you realize what they're doing. They're just trying to erode your rights. So, what he did, reading from NRA-ILA, Institute for Legislative Action, for Legislative Action. This man is trying to, on Tuesday, Santa Fe voters rejected the measure by a 16-point margin, underscoring the elitist nature of the campaign. Voters in the city's middle and lower income neighbors went against the tax in huge numbers, while the vote in Santa Fe's affluent north and east side split almost precisely 50-50. So what he was trying to do, this bastard? He was trying to pass a universal background check legislation for firearms transfer. The effort failed on the strength of opposition led by the NRA. Other opponents of the bill included the New Mexico Sheriff's Association, which included a statement emphasizing the proposal would make it harder for law-abiding New Mexicans to exercise the Second Amendment rights and do nothing to keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Think about it. He had dumped 13 million into the effort. So this is what pretty much he does, the bastard, okay? He goes around like he did in Nevada. Unfortunately, this succeed by probably 1%. And he's trying to do, he starts all this background check, universal background check. It's nothing else but the registration. That's how all this start. And exactly the opposite of what we just talked before a few minutes ago here in Arizona. That we can sell guns privately. We don't need to consult any government database. And the governor signed that. So screw you, Bloomberg. Screw you, any other tyrannical bastard out there who's trying to infringe on our rights. So I'm very pleased for my fellow brothers of New Mexico that they have won this time. But remember, the rat doesn't go away. And if it's not him, it will be somebody else. This is the globalist agenda, to disarm humanity. Because only when you disarm, look what they can do to you. They can milk you to death. They can milk you like a cow till you bleed blood, pretty much. No more milk. Look in California. They take all your guns, make it very difficult, then we'll take your ammo. You had to be a special license to even buy ammo, special permit. And then guess what? The sky is the limit. Vaccine for everybody. If you don't like it, too bad. We come to your home and we'll vaccine you too. Mandatory vaccination for your children in school. And now it's going to happen probably even if your children there stay at home, we will come and get them anyway. And then don't worry about it. Meanwhile, we will going to completely break you down financially. 42% on what? We were talking about gasoline tax and then carbon tax and whatever tax. Just because you breathe, you got to pay. Your pension, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that too. If you don't like it, too bad. That's what happens in Europe. Completely subjugated population. And that's what they want to the rest of us too. That's why they want America down. That's why they hate our Bill of Rights. That's why they want our First Amendment. That's why they want our Second Amendment. They know it. This is the last country still standing against this globally enslavement. So please, I know I have a lot of friends out there that they consider themselves liberals. But I saw in some of you a huge improvement, at least awareness. We may disagree on some issues, that's fine. But you understand the importance of the Second Amendment. And I am very pleased. Now, on another note, talking about liberals, that they are not liberals, but for me they are violent bastards who are somehow, exercising the Second Amendment. There was on the YouTube, there's also an article, this group from Phoenix, I guess, of Antifa, whatever they call themselves, these leftists, that they're somehow training in the middle of the desert and doing some shooting exercises. And according to their statement, let's see what they say. The national network working to stem the tide of reactionary recruitment within white working class communities who fight white supremacy and build liberatory community defense. Liberal militia releases training footage. This is serious stuff. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I am glad at least they start to understand that they have the right to, even if they're from different political views. My only problem is these people are kind of scary for one reason. Because it is not that they exercise their right and they have differences of opinion. They really are part of the communist underground movements that is not underground anymore. They've been on the open, the Brown Beret, the Mexican Reconquista, all the Marxist forces united. And you will see them. These people, they've been violent already. They've been using violence. Normally, they've been using rocks or whatever they have, sticks. And they're cowards, by the way. They go 10, 20 against one. But Scary thing is, now they really believe this stuff, and they're going for the next stage. So they're getting guns. So I said, I have all the respect for everybody who exercises their rights, but in a peaceful way. Second Amendment doesn't say that you must go out there and harm or kill people you don't agree with. Okay? Or you have to go there and steal somebody else's property, or damage somebody else's property, or just, create a riot because you don't like the man in, let's say, elected president. Okay? So that's different. You have the right to defend your life, to defend your freedom. I agree with that. But not go out there and trying to intimidate others and start to really be vocal about it. They want to kill people. That's the point. So the good thing is somehow they're learning a little bit. The other good thing that they suck, thank God, at least for now. But the bad thing is something's brewing. Don't you smell it? Can you feel it? Something's in the air. I mean, we've never been, even when Obama was in power, okay? You know how much division and hate was created. I mean, black and white. I mean, we had it so good somehow compared before Obama. We had the worst racial division with Obama. But the point is now it's a new level. It's a new level. So I'm saying, I'm afraid that something could be like civil war is on the brewing. And the globalists will use us against each other to create this final chaos, to create the final stage they need, this sort of a martial law scenario. So please, people on the other side, for me, I have no sides but the truth. My side is America, the Constitution, freedom, respecting each other's rights. That's the only side I have. So I don't want to hear the crap like, oh, you're Republican or whatever. I'm no parties. All I know, though, we respect each other. Okay? Don't bring a gun into a fight unless you have a good reason. And hopefully you know how to use the gun. Okay? Don't start it. Don't start this. Because, you guys, you need few years still of a practice, seriously. A lot of practice. You may be good at throwing rocks and probably, bottles and gang 20 against 1 in the dark alley. Yes, you're good at that. Pack of cowards, but don't start something you don't want to see ending. If you start it, somebody's going to end it. And it's not going to be pretty. We're still Americans. I understand you're being brainwashed by a bunch of, communist Marxist professors at college or high school or whatever. I know you think really that what you're doing is to save the planet or whatever crap you believe. But nobody's going to take my property. Nobody's going to force me to get my guns and to pay or give out my rights or my property rights. Or tell me how to live my life for the common good. Screw you. Okay? I'm not even a Trump supporter. When Trump does something right, I'm the first one to say it. Sometimes, he's been doing right at the beginning, but I'm also being very vocal when I see things that I know that's being compromised. But doesn't mean nothing. For sure, even if I, let's say, criticize Trump, I'm not with you. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not a freaking communist. Let's be clear. Okay? So you guys, dear guys, in case you're listening, I would like to, by the way, to have you on the show. I really would. I would almost pay you. My guests are never paid, but for with you, to see how your mind and brain is rigged, how now finally you're going to get, you exercise your Second Amendment right, where normally most of you hate guns. But after all, think about it. The real revolutionary Marxist understands the importance of guns. Mao Zedong said, the political power comes out of the barrel of a gun. And you guys are the proof. Some of you, they are also very public about it. So I said, let's be logical. Let's be not too emotional. I know some of you, they're kind of young kids, and maybe they fell and tripped their heads on the Communist Manifesto too much. You'll be reading too much that book at night, or some other stupid, very utopistic ideas that, by the way, they're all being used and forced with violence. Forced with violence, yeah, I know it's a contrasense, but the point, that's the truth. Every communist agenda is being based on violence. Why you think in Russia, in China, in every country, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, I mean, everywhere there is this regime. North Korea, they must use violence. Nobody wants that. So the few, they are brainwashed enough, and also they benefit out of this, because after all, in every communist regime, the elite class is doing fine. In Venezuela now they're starving. But meanwhile, I'm sure the president and his family is eating well, okay? So that's the bottom line. Let's have a break, and then I want to talk a little bit about Fabio. You know Fabio? Not Fabio the snitch from the, bandits. My former friend Fabio, working with the FBI. Now this is Fabio, is the actor, the model, the good-looking man that in the 80s and the 90s was on every cover of these romance books. Guess what? Came out with something very important on Braveheart. Don't ever give up your guns. Fabio advice to America. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. A little break, and we'll continue. Don't go away.
State of the free, state of the free. Social less red tape. There ain't no place like this state. No. We have the right to carry. We have the right to speak. Here, guns are not free. So you come forward. I love Arizona, state of the free, state of the free.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman,
I'm not afraid.
and a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth,
I'm not afraid.
American by choice, Luca Zanna,
I'm not afraid.
and his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Luca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, final part of the second hour. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. You know, I enjoy reading the news. Sometimes I don't do it enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to bring you the guest, and I want to bring always more guests. But to have the opportunity to also give you some news, kicking back a little bit, I think it's great. I think it's something that I need to do also, because even this is a weekly show, it is not a daily show, but there are a lot of things happening. Sometimes we don't have time to read all the stuff. So that's the spirit of the show. Second hour, it's about guns, rights, news, little training, safety, why not? Now, back to news. Fabio, as I was said, is Italian, by the way, he's Italian, but he just naturalized American. Very proud of him. Actor, model, whatever you want to call him. He had an advice for the American people, to the American people. Don't ever give up your guns. Wow. Don't you love that? Directly from freaking Los Angeles, Hollywood. Holding a beautiful American flag, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Okay, now this is, when he became a citizen, just a couple of years ago. This article is from Breitbart, whatever it's called. Based on his experience, I'm reading it, living in Europe and the out-of-control problems now being committed in the name of liberalism in California, model and actor Fabio warns America. Don't ever give up your guns. He suggests liberals have divided people and are using the split to push their freedom-crushing agenda. He said, the current division in the country only makes politicians stronger. When people are divided, the politicians can do whatever. When people are united, that's a dangerous thing. This guy is smart. Freaky smart. People think, oh, he's a cute guy, or he's just a dude, with some muscle. No, this guy is smart. He understands. According to Life Zit, Fabio recalled arriving in America for the first time saying, it was like a beautiful dream. It was like paradise. I fell in love with this country. But he has watched sweeping change occur under the Democrats like Governor Jerry Brown. And he indicates that the change favors criminal while leaving police demoralized. He said, it's a disaster. It's an epidemic. It's been around the world. I've been around the world, I've been to Africa, everywhere. Downtown Los Angeles now looks like a third world country. And he's right. Fabio said LA is full of closed-off streets and sidewalks and also has out-of-control crime and homeless problems. And he warned that things are going to get worse because of Proposition 57. Fabio said that proposition was promoted to save money by releasing non-violent criminals from prison. But he says Proposition 57 has actually resulted in reduction in sentence for human trafficking involving sex with minors, assault with a deadly weapon, attempting to explode a bomb in a school or hospital, discharging a firearm on school guards, failing to register as a sex offender. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah, they need to save money because they stole your money, these bastards. Even with all these taxes, they're increasing now. This is my extra editorial. Fabio said, just look at Europe and go the opposite way. Right on, Fabio. I'm with you. It's as simple as that. Europe already jumped off the cliff. They are doomed. And he added, don't you ever give up your guns. If people lose their right, forget about it. Politicians will take everything away from you. And then what you going to do? Protest with a rock? Because that's what they do in Europe. This man is great. Honestly, I never really knew what they doing besides the commercial for the butter or whatever, it's margarine, but I like him. I wish I could have him on the show. If anybody has contacts with Fabio, please help me out. He's a great guy, and he's proud to be an American. That's what he is. He lives in America, and I share with him the same feeling, nostalgic feeling also how really beautiful this country was. Even when I came here, it wasn't exactly 100 years ago, it was just 19 years ago. Even I was in California, probably the most already liberal state in the country, but comparing to now, I was talking with my friend Jeff Schwilk during the first hour. California was like a paradise just 20 years ago, and it was already bad. It's so sad. If people don't see the madness repeating over and over and over, the same illusion, the same, utopistic, completely out of their mind policies. They are producing always the same results, and they keep doing it. I'm sorry. Must be a disease. I really start to believe that whatever you call liberalism or whatever you think it is, I don't even think it's liberalism. It's just government. Government. You adore government. Government is your God. That's what it is. It's a mental disorder. That's what it is. So yes, good for Fabio. Good for Fabio for speaking up. Because I tell you, I don't know, this guy probably doesn't need the money, but in Hollywood, if you want to make a living, if you say type of things like this, you better have your saving account full, loaded, because I don't think you're going to get many jobs offer after this, okay? So anyway, at this point, we're going for hour number 3. If you want to help, oh, by the way, before I let you go, this Saturday, the 13th, okay, Saturday 13 in Kingman at exactly On Target Enterprise LLC. I have another beautiful CCW class, Arizona CCW class. Please enjoy the opportunity. It's free for single mothers. You can go to azccw.us, azccw.us, and I really invite you to come there. If you have a friend, you got $20 off. Bring a friend. It's an incredible class, more than 5 hours, almost 6 hours. All the information you need and more to become a better gun owner, but more important, a lawful gun owner, and able to have a CCW permit that you don't really need it, but it can give you some extreme benefits. Yes, you don't need it, but it can give you benefits having a CCW in Arizona. Okay, so azccw.us. Okay, ready for a little break, ready for final hour. Do not go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Ciao.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network.